Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem. And you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Pleasure to be in the shop tonight, man. Had a really awesome time today, man. We had like a watch party, man. Watched some games. A lot of good stuff going on, man. And as you can see right now, the big homie, man, the DFS Jerusalem, is sitting in first place. One more out to go. Two more strikes is all I need to win first place in the MLB 10K base hit single entry. That is a $12 buy-in. And taking a look at the lineup that I use for this tournament, man, I gotta keep it real with you. I gotta be honest with you. This lineup is the one that we made in the group. This lineup is what we made in the group. Looking back, a lot of cats in the sweatshop, man. We get in and we chop it up in the line drive at 5, which we will be doing this afternoon. And this is a lineup that was here, so this lineup was available for anybody. Uh, Honestly, it was. It was. We talked about it, and I'm not going to say that I told anybody to play this lineup, but I do like to share the guys that I'm playing. I'm not one of those people that'll tell you, "Hey, play this guy, play this guy, play that guy, play that guy," and not be playing them. You know, there was a couple of guys that I was on that did not make it into this lineup. Case in point, strike 3. That's it. That's it. Game. That's game. First place in the 10K base hit single entry. Shout out to everybody who had a part, man, in all of the research that we did today. Shout out to Rhino DFS, man. If you are not paying attention, uh, if you are not paying attention, yeah, I still do my show on YouTube. If you are not paying attention to what Rhino DFS is doing, they're gonna stop us, bro. The stuff that he's gonna have to be stopped at some point because it's ridiculous the way that he's like blessing the set. It's ridiculous what he's doing. So let's go ahead, man. We have 15 games total in totality. Tomorrow, I think the first game is at 220, but that's not going to be a part of the main slate. And what I'm using here, shout out to RotoQL, I am using a template of the way that they have the games, and I'm going to go ahead and default this to maybe some season average projection because I do not want to give away their projections. This is a paid service that they do offer. All I'm using is the actual template from the games that they have, the way they have them established. And what we're going to be doing in the first class today is we're going to be going over some pitching because, you know, a lot of people, they're making shows right now. They're making shows and they're saying, hey, yo, you got to play this guy, you got to play that guy, batting orders, first base, second base. They're doing all of that. And I'm telling you, that's garbage. You can't even build a lineup batter-wise until you know what the batting order is going to be. Like that's like the biggest component to success in MLB DFS, knowing what the batting order is. That way you can get your stacks in order. Now the reason why they do that is so that they can take you off of your stat game, where we know what's up, Brad? What's up, Brad? What's up, Rudy? We know that your stat game is what it all boils down to. So what we're doing here in the first class is we're gonna jump into some pitching concepts, break that down, look at the point totals and the Vegas lines and see what they're saying. And then tomorrow, when we meet here, today, at 5 o'clock, we meet for the line drive at 5. That is where we're going to be able to together, talk about some strategy, and you can build your own individual lineups. I'll run some things and kind of let you know where I'm at with the guys that I like. Okay, and this is why we do this for you to build your own lineups, man. This is not. You have some guys out there that sell lineups, that give out lineups, and that's fine and cool, man. There's much success to be had with a lot of those cats, man. You look at what Cam ETL is doing, what the homie Von Harris does. A lot of guys, man, DFS Perfect Lineups, a lot of guys do a lot of great work. But what we do here is we are more inclined to teaching you how to build those lineups, right? So, this is saying, Evan Dees, man, holla. Good to see you, fam. And when we have our watch parties, man, we get into the group and we watch a lot of stuff. Maybe watch a lot of stuff, some game tape that we do watch. We go back over and watch game film. So, you want to be in here, man. This is the place to be. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, man. The first game is at 7:05. First pitch goes out. We've got the Miami Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates. This game is in PNC Park in Pittsburgh. You've got 7-mile-per-hour wind going out toward left field. 0% chance of rain here. 76 degrees a 55 dew point with a 49% humidity. This game should play without any incident. 9.5 runs is going to be the total in this spot. And I do want to open it up and take a look here. Let's go to lineups, because I want to make sure that DraftKings is offering us the correct pitching on the slate. So I'm gonna go and open it up, go standard, and we're going to the 14 game slate here. Cool. Okay. So here we got first game on the slate. We got Tyler Glasnow and Vance Worley. Those are, in fact, the guys that we have here. Miami Marlins swinging hot bats lately. Don't really think I want to touch Glasnow. It's a 9.5 run total. I think the game should be on or around there. We see the money lines pretty tight. Minus 113 in favor of the Pirates. So that does make me want to lean towards a couple of those Marlins guys here in this spot. So I'm Worley, Glasnow, no pitching from here. In this game, we got the Texas Rangers and the Washington Nationals. We got Tanner Roark at 8.6 against Andrew Kashner. Taking a look here, I want you to see a few things. Now, we're looking at K rates over the last 14 games. You're looking at the Rangers, man, 4th in the league in K rate, 29.1% K rate. And something that you're going to remember when you think about the Rangers is how well they've been hitting the ball in regard to extra bases. And that's, as far as the season goes, yes. But over the last 14 days, horrible ISO here, 149 here. The WOBA, not anything that you should be afraid of, 309. So that's going to kind of, I think that Roark is somebody that we can take a look at. I kind of like Roark in this spot at 8.6. I think that's a very solid price. You don't have to worry too much about ownership on a 14-game slate like we did last night on an 8-game slate. But beware, because the beauty and the strength of the Texas Rangers order is going to come in a lot of those left-handed bats. You see guys like Shin Chu Chu, Nomar Masara, Joey Gallo, Rougned Odor, even Jarrett Hoying has come on lately, and he's priced down at 2.1. So you're going to want to look at both sides of this now. Andrew Kashner, I'm not playing a pitcher against the Washington Nationals at home. Those guys rake, especially a right-handed pitcher, because I wouldn't mind playing a lefty if we knew it's going to take a guy like Bryce Harper for a loop or anything like that. But that's just not the case, man. So I'm going to be playing some Nats guys. You can look to those guys most assuredly. No Andrew Kashner for me, but I do like Tanner Roark. He's one of the first pitchers that we're looking at on the slate. The next game we've got is going to be the Detroit Tigers and the Boston Red Sox. Now, the Boston Red Sox just got their behind spanked a lot in New York. Okay? Quick question from Armando Gonzalez. What's up? What up, Mo? How'd you do today? Pretty good, man. 20 times the buy-in. Pretty good. I took down first place in the $12 buy-in single entry. Get in those single entries, bro. If you remember how we did during basketball season, we went into single entries deep. I'm talking like 100, 150, sometimes 200 deep. And there were nights where the sweatshop logo was littered throughout the top 50 during basketball season. And we have that same potential. We have that very same potential during baseball. So getting those single entries. Now we got Jordan Zimmerman at 7.6 against Brian Johnson at 6.6 here. We're going to go over to DraftKings just to make sure we have the correct guys. Bam, that is correct here. Now Zimmerman, over his last few starts, 40 against the White Sox, 3 against the White Sox, 25, 30. So he's been fairly good in his last 4 starts. Save the one bad game he had against the White Sox. But 10.5 run total here, where you've got the Red Sox projected to score 5.7 runs. The money line is in their favor at negative 1.51. I would think I'm going to lay off Zimmerman as a pitcher, but I am going to have some exposure to the Detroit bats. I kind of like that. And once we get the finalized lineups at about 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, then we can hone in on which Detroit players we like. This Detroit stack owes me money, and by God, I'm going to get it. Okay, Brian Johnson at 6.6. Just because I think I like Detroit a lot, I won't be rocking too much with this. But look at this, man. This dude went nuts the last time out against Seattle. Very solid game he had there. Now, do you think Brian Johnson can do it again? Detroit is not a team that you should be, completely afraid to roster a pitcher against. But at the same time, let's take a look. where the Tigers sit. They're fairly disciplined at the plate. 18th in the league in K rate at 20.6, but a 202 ISO and a 357 WOBA over the last 14 days kind of gives you a little bit of trepidation when you talk about playing a pitcher against these guys. So I do like a lot of Detroit bats. I'm going to look carefully at Brian Johnson. I think you can play any number of the Boston guys. They're going to be wanting a win after getting the ass whipped by my New York Yankees over the last couple of games. So you can definitely take a look there. Next game we got is going to be the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. We got Corey Kluber at 10.5 and Miguel Gonzalez at 6.6. Miguel, last game, 3 points, 42 in the game before that against Detroit. Pretty solid performance there, but he's been fairly pedestrian in all these games, but the one that he had a really nice one. Okay, so he's a guy that I am not at all afraid to attack. Not at all. I'm not afraid to attack them at all. I like a lot of the Cleveland bats. I think that you can definitely look to Corey Kluber. I think he's going to be the highest priced pitcher on the slate at 12.6, 35 against Oakland. Yes, this is a guy that does have double-digit K upside. He does have double-digit K upside, and if you want to play against anybody with a guy like that, it could be against the White Sox. Checking them out. They are 25.6% K rate, 156 ISO, 320 WOBA. All items that tell us that we can definitely play guys against them. Now, Brad says that Abreu goes nuts versus Kluber, so that's something that you want to pay attention to as well. But I think I like Kluber tomorrow. I do. If I'm going to be paying up for pitching, Kluber is a guy that I like. Kluber is the guy that I like. Miguel Gonzalez is cheap as balls, man. 4.8. That is a very low price for Miguel Gonzalez. Something to look at. Next game we got is the Oakland Athletics and the Tampa Bay Rays. We got Andrew Triggs at 5.7, Alex Cobb at 7.2. On the surface, this looks like a very favorable matchup for Alex Cobb. Just because he had that negative 10.35, a lot of folks are not going to want to play him. But take a look. 15, 12, 22, 18, 15, 17. Fairly consistent over the last few games before that horrific start that he had. So he's a guy that is going to get consideration from me. If we look at what the A's, they're right here, 30%. 30% K rate, second worst in the league. Right after the Padres. 201 ISO does kind of scare you, but that 298 WOBA, man, I can play Cobb. I'm so serious. Cobb is playable for me. Cobb is very playable for me. Taking a look at Andrew Triggs against that Rays order, he's not a guy that I want to play at all. I like the fact that he's a right-hander playing against some of those Tampa Bay power lefties, and I think that I may have been a day early on my Tampa Bay Rays stack because last night the guys that I liked the most was the Washington stack, Miami, and of course it was the Tampa Bay Rays. And all of them were pretty decent, but the Nat stack is what really took me to the money. So no Triggs for me. I will be playing some of those Tampa bats, and I do like Alex Cobb a ton in this spot. I like Alex Cobb. So let me go and highlight him. Next guy we got. Next team is the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves. 9.5 run total here. The game's going to be at SunTrust Field. We've got a very close game as far as the money line goes. You got Matt Harvey, Julio Teheran. Matt Harvey has not been good on the season. But out of his last 3 starts, he did have a couple of solid performances. 18 against Pittsburgh, 19 against San Diego. What can we expect him to do against the New York Mets? I think it's against the Braves in Atlanta. I think it's get hit and get hit hard. I like some of those Mets bats. Julio Teheran, a good start we saw from him the last time. Against Cincinnati, not good. But against the Angels and against Pittsburgh, those were pretty decent starts. You know how I feel about Teheran. If you know anything about me, you know I hate Teheran. I will be sporting some Mets bats just off a surface look. I will be playing some Mets bats tomorrow. Edwin Neves says he likes this kind of as a game stack, and I can dig why you would say that. Most certainly. I'm there with you, man. No pitching in this spot, though. Next game we got is going to be the Baltimore Orioles and my New York Yankees. You got Dylan Bundy, Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery, to me, is in play for the simple fact that if you take a look at what the Orioles do as far as swinging the bat, man, 25.8% K rate, among the highest in the league. They stand in 6th place, the 6th worst team in the league. 190 ISO. They can hit the ball for extra bases and power, but that 315 WOBA, which is fairly low, for a team that I think should be a lot better than this, it does give me consideration or cause for consideration for Jordan Montgomery. He's a guy that I do like. Taking a look at his last couple of starts, 23, 12, 23, very solid over the last 3 games against some pretty decent competition. So I think I can get there. Dylan Bundy, on the other hand, while the Yankees bats are this hot, Bundy's been fairly consistent over the last 3 starts, but he's not a guy that I like. I'm not going to go all in on Yankee bats, but I think that I can play a couple of those guys against Dylan Bundy. And as I stated earlier, once the finalized lineups come out, that's when we can go ahead and make those determinations of which specific players we can use from spot to spot. 8 mile per hour wind going out towards center field, 0% chance of rain here. 54 is a dew point, 77 degrees, and a 44% humidity is what we're seeing so far in New York. The next game we got is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Houston Astros. The Astros kind of got right at the end of the game. He got right at the end. They got right at the end of the game. Very slow start for him. You got Brad Peacock and Shoemaker here. I don't want any Shoemaker. I think it's tough. It's going to be tough to play pitching right now against the Houston Astros. Looking at what they do, they're very disciplined at the plate. You see them here at the bottom of the league in K rate, 15.3% K rate, 258 WOBA leading the league, as well as a 406 WOBA with a 258 ISO leading the league over the last 14 days. Not a team I think you want to attack. And what we saw last night is an indicator of what happened. Yeah, they could not hit the Kansas City pitcher last night. But once they got into the bullpen later into the game, all bets were off, man, and they ran up the score. And I think that could happen definitely for a guy like Shoemaker tomorrow. Looking at him over his last few starts, 19-4, 24, 24, 29. So he's been fairly decent. And 7K is a very solid price, just not in this matchup for me. Now, I think one of the most contrarian plays on the slate would be to attack Brad Peacock. In this spot, we saw the Angels kind of have a really spirited offensive output yesterday. Nobody was on them. If you played them yesterday in the early, I'm sure they took you to the money. Just for that simple reason, I'm going to take a closer look at that once the finalized lineups come out in the line drive at 5. But as it stands right now, I think Brad Peacock is a pitcher that we can take a look at. 27, 15, and 23 in his only 3 starts to the season, all against capable, formidable offenses, Texas, Minnesota, and Detroit. So that's a guy that we got to give consideration to. Yeah, the Angels went ham. They did. Yesterday, the Angels went ham. And I said that. I was like, yo, we talking about all these other teams, but watch the Angels go ham. And I didn't have any of them, and they went nuts. Samuel Alcantara brought up an interesting point. He said that the Astros cannot hit the splitter, the split finger fastball. Shoe might deal on them. That's something to take a look at, most certainly. Next game we got is the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. This game's going to be in Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We got 6 mile per hour wind going out toward left field, 84 degrees, going to be hot, 0% chance of rain, 44% humidity with a 60 dew point here. We got Michael Wacha at 7.3 against the Phillies and Jeremy Hellickson at 5.8. I want to check DraftKings just to be sure that these are the guys that are going to be playing because I saw something that I like. I like Wacha. I like Wacha. I just do. It's like a Joe Ross decision from yesterday. I like Wacha. I do. I just like him. Let's take a look and see what the Phillies stack up. Phillies, 14th, middle of the pack in the league as far as K rate goes. 21.7% K rate, 164 ISO, 299 WOBA, all low points. Yo, I like Wacha tomorrow. I think I can play him. I think I can play Wacha tomorrow. Look at it, Jeremy Hellickson. I do not want to play him against the Cardinals. They've been hitting fairly well recently. Let's take a look and see where they stack up as far as K rate. Right there under the Phillies, 21.6%, 130 ISO, very low with a 285 WOBA. Wait a minute. That may be something to look at. We're going to pay close attention to that. But Jeremy Hellickson sucks, man. He's just so bad. 9-4, -5. Like, he is so bad. He's not the pitcher that I want to attack a failing offense with. He's just not. Kurt Cover says Wacha is in play, but lots of switch hitters and lefties in the Philadelphia lineup is what might keep him away, and I can definitely understand that. Next game we got is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. This game is in Chase Field, a picture-perfect spot for the hitter's park. Like a lot about this game, I think this is a stackable game, most certainly. You got 9.5 run total here. Josh Dewey says he likes Walker. That I know I'm in a good spot there. You've got the Brewers here, Zach Davies, Randall Delgado. Let's check over on DraftKings. Make sure these are the correct pitching components that we are looking at. It most certainly is. Good, good, good. All right, so, Zach Davies had a nice one last time out. 27 against the Dodgers, man, and I was all over him on that day. Don't think I can use him in this spot, just for the simple fact I love the bats in this spot. I love the bats in this spot, both of them. And I think no pitching here. I would just fit as many of these bats as you can into your lineups. I love the power lefties against Zach Davis in the spot. I also think you're going to get the same treatment for Randall Delgado here against some of the power lefties, guys like Travis Shaw, Eric Thames. That's good. That's good. It's hot as hell. 103 degrees. Yes. Give me that. Next game we got is the Cincinnati Reds and the LA Dodgers. And these teams kind of mirror each other. And, you look at the Dodgers, man, being a heavy favorite, it's got to give you some cause for consideration here for the Cincinnati Reds being projected to only score 3.8 runs. It makes me look closer at them, man. Rich Hill, 8.1K, 10-18 in his last 2 starts. Not a guy that I really want to play. Amir Garrett had a nice start very early in the season, but look at this. Over the last couple of games, just been trash. This is another game I think that you can actually play and on both sides, and not a lot of people are going to have exposure either way. Now, lefties against Dodgers, yes, it's a thing, but this is not the kind of lefty that I want to attack the Dodgers with. So I would most likely grab some of those righties from Cincinnati, man. And guys like Billy Hamilton, Cozart are going to be guys I like. Some Suarez, Duvall, even Joey Votto, because he does hit lefties well too. So this is going to be a game I'm going to be more concerned with the bats and not with the pitching. The next game we got is the Kansas City Royals and the San Diego Chargers. This is a perfect spot to play Julius Chesson for me. He's very cheap, 6.4K. Had one really bad game against the Mets where they just blew up on him. But outside of that, man, look at the consistency here for Chesson, man. Yo, look at the consistency here. Look at the consistency for Julius Chesson, man. He's a guy that I like. I like him a lot. And I always love to attack the Kansas City Royals. Shout out to Kenny Shave, the big homie. Sorry about that, man. But I love to attack those guys. Chasing at home in this spot against the Royals, I like him. And you got Eric Skoglund, -3 in his last start, but 26 against Detroit in that first one. It's also a pitcher you can use. The Padres are awful. Worst strikeout rate in the league. Look at the ISO, 255. The WOBA of 280, 155 ISO, 280 WOBA. Yeah, you can play any of these pitchers, bro. Today is a day where you can get any bat you want. You can get any bat you want. Any bat you want, you can have because the pitching is there. Soakland and Chasson, I'm going to be highlighting both of those cats. Next game you got is the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. You got Joe Biagini against Sam Gaviglio. Now, Biagini, he did have a really, really good start last time out. 22.75 at 4.7K. Don't know if you want to test the Mariners. I think we do get Nelson Cruz back tomorrow. If that is so, it does beef up that order just a touch and make me kind of have a little bit of trepidation when it comes to playing Joe Biagini. But Sam Gaviglio, bro, I'm attacking that dude. I like some Toronto bats tomorrow. I think I'm going to be using those. Chasson has ERA of 10 on the road, under 10 at home. That's coming from Josh Dewey. Solid shit. Solid. So no Gaviglio for me. Looking over his last start, 22 against Tampa Bay, 2.4 against Colorado. I can't do it. I like some Toronto bats tomorrow. Mariners just got shut down by Gibson. Biagini is in play. Jeremy Ladd is like dad. He's like kicks in the door. He's like, son, Biagini is in play. Okay, I got you. I will definitely take a look. Definitely. Last game on the slate is going to be the Minnesota Twins and the San Francisco Giants. Urban Santana, give me that. Yo, I love the fact that we get a pitcher like Urban Santana, a boss pitcher. I think he is a quality ace guy. in a hitter's park, excuse me, a pitcher's park. There's 14-mile-per-hour winds that we do have to contend with. 0% chance of rain, 60 degrees, 50 dew point, 68% humidity. There's something that we have to contend with the wind. But Santana, bro, I love Santana. Brad brought up perfect point. A guy that can be a late night hammer for you. I really think we can rock with Urban Santana in this spot. You're taking a look at what they do, man. Now the Giants are not a team that's going to strike out a ton. They're not. They're toward the bottom of the league, one of the better teams in the league in terms of K rate, 18.1%. Yes. But look at that ISO, man. 0.096 over the last 14 days. They cannot get extra base hits. 291 WOBA there. So I like him a lot, man. I'm going to be on Urban Santana. He is one of my favorite pitching prospects on the slate. I will lock him in, and I like him so much that I'm not going to be playing. If Sam like the Drum says Gavidio can own Toronto with the sinker ball that he throws. See, and that's another thing. See, man, these cats in the shop, man, it goes so deep, bro. It goes so deep, and I ain't trying to rub y'all the wrong way. I ain't trying to disrespect nobody when I say this, but a lot of cats that I hear in the shop now that are on point and saying things that help everybody, they weren't always like that. These cats are learning and teaching each other. They are learning and teaching each other and teaching me. And this is a complete family vibe. This is beautiful, wonderful to watch, man. Excellent to be a part of. Okay? Love this. We getting straight, uncut, raw information in here, man. And you need to get in here, bro. You need to. That coupled with what Rudy is doing, Rhino DFS on Twitter, that coupled with that, bro, what we do here coupled with that is nuts. It's an unshakable foundation for success, for DFS success. We look at this thing completely different than a lot of other people do. I'm telling you, no disrespect, no shade. But I love Urban Santana, a guy I'm going to be on tomorrow. I also am going to like a few of those Twins bats. And Matt Moore is a no for me. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap, taking a look at the pitching that we talked about. Uh, Timothy, you should have played the lineup, bro. You should have played the lineup. It was there. All right, Corey Kluber is in play, of course. These are guys that I like. This is my early first look pitching first class. Okay, this is what we got: Corey Kluber, Urban Santana, Brad Peacock, Jordan Montgomery, Michael Wacha, Alex Cobb, Eric Skoglund. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. That's my early pitching pool. Okay, that's what I like. So what I want you to do, man, is meet me here. Meet me here tomorrow in in the line drive at 5. All right, meet me in the line drive, and we're gonna once the finalized lineups come out, we're gonna break all that down, discuss everything, go over it. You know, every lineup I had wasn't great. Don't get me wrong. Every lineup I had was not great. This wasn't one of those nights where every lineup was great. Okay. Oh, Rourke too. Yeah, Rourke is a play that we did like. Every lineup I had wasn't great, but it was a decent night, man. It was a decent night. Covered a lot of my bets. Made back what I lost in the early, so it was a good one, man. And hopefully, we can as a group, as a team, have a very decent night today later on. So meet me in the line drive at 5. Yo, thank you. Yeah, I got a 76. I got a 76. Word. All right, so this has been, of course, your DFS Jerusalem, man. Follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Signing off for tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of everything we do here in the DFS Sweatshop. We're going to be coming at you tomorrow, like I said, in the line drive at 5. Let's get it in. And the number one thing I want y'all to do, man, if you're on FanDuel, I want you to keep it 250, and on DraftKings, keep it 200. Peace. Much love to y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. We out.